Hey Internet, welcome to today's episode, which is renting prices in New Zealand. This video was requested by a viewer. So, if you're moving from overseas to New Zealand and you wish to just rent a house for the time being before buying a house, so okay, all these websites, so most of them are from the government, so guidelines from the government. And then I'll go through the websites that the government recommends, and I'll also go through one example of actual prop an actual property website. Okay, um, so my renting experience is a little bit different. I did rent for a little while, but it was like with a family friend, so it's not quite true renting, but it's still, I still paid them cash or whatever, or into their bank account and direct debit, all that stuff. So I guess in a sense it's renting. Okay. Anyways, that's a tangent. So my experience with true renting is quite limited, but I still know what it is, right? Okay, so this one, it's the actual New Zealand government website. So anything with gov.nz is from the New Zealand government. So it's a good website. Trust the government, or I guess don't, depending on what your political stance is. So basically, they just give you the whole guidelines on your rent, what your obligations are, etc., and what do's, don'ts, things like that. Okay, so follow the official government's guidelines. All right, so if you're an international student coming into New Zealand and you're studying, then I guess you're limited to the region or area of your university or polytech or what have you. So where you study is where you're basically going to be renting. Like that's the area. It's not exactly feasible to be renting in Auckland and going to Christchurch to study, right? That's not um, feasible. So if you're studying in Christchurch, you're probably going to be renting in Christchurch. All right. So the New Zealand government has uh, recommended Trademe. So Trademe is a New Zealand website that you can sell things. It's kind of like eBay, I guess. But also they do list houses to rent or to buy, or and they sell other things among that website. But since the website is regulated by the government and it's recommended by the government, yeah, so the link is here, takes you to here. So, like, you just find your bedrooms, bathrooms, what have you, and then what type of house you're looking for or apartment, and then you try and match your rates, the rent that you can afford, and search the region, and then you hit search and houses will come up. Uh, you know how to do that. I'm sure I don't need to. And you can find flatmates. I guess if you're an elderly person, you can find retirement villages. Okay, that's all self-explanatory. But since it's there, you know, I guess I have to show you, right? Right. Again, this website is by the government, so if you say, for example, Auckland Central, like it will give you what the government thinks that region and area is worth for renting, or like in terms of rent, how much you should pay. But keep in mind that landlords, they can set a price a little bit higher, a little bit lower according to the recommendation. So yeah, just talk to your landlord beforehand, what the price is, things like that. So you'll sign like a legal document and things like that. You pay a bond, and your bond is returned to you once you terminate your agreement, provided you didn't destroy the house or whatever. If you got disputes, there's a tenancy tribunal. I'll have all these links in the description below. So yeah, don't worry about it. And yeah. Okay, so offhanded information. Auckland is the most expensive place to be renting. Ironically, in 2021, as of this recording, 10th of June, it was named the most livable place in the world. You can see the irony. The cost of living is so high in Auckland because rent is so expensive. Right. So this one is a .org. It's not by the government, but it's an organization, I guess. So it's partly with the government, not really, but they do provide good information. So this is more of a read. So they literally just have a website and tell you the prices of these areas, and they update it once a year, I believe. I think so, yeah, once a year. So this is another useful website if you just want a quick glance. Just know that these values are just like a rough estimate. It's not like a fixed price. Rent goes up and down depending on, well, depends on like the area, if it's going under construction, or like say for example earthquake happens, then rent's gonna probably drop because you're in an earthquake zone. No one wants to be in an earthquake zone. Or let's just say that you're in a rough neighborhood. um, Obviously rent's gonna be cheap if you're next to drug dealers and gang members, because why would you want to pay $1,000 rent only to get stabbed at night, right? So obviously rent's gonna be cheap if you're living in a rough neighborhood. Sorry, that got a little bit dark, but you get my point. So if you live in a nice, rich neighborhood, then the rent's gonna be high. If you live in a rough neighborhood, it's probably gonna be lower. Okay, so I went through the official government, their recommendations, and then another government website. Okay, again, this one, so they have it on their website as well. Nothing too interactive. And this one kind of gives you more in-depth detail on what you need to do to rent and meet your legal obligations. So this is the tenancy website. So if you got problems, things like that, this is the website to visit. Okay, so now we're moving on to private rental companies. So this is a property company. So there's many companies. This is just one example. It's not that I'm sponsored by them or anything. Basically, you can go to the private rental companies like these, and then you can search up properties that they have on offer to rent, and you just contact them and you do the whole legal process. All right. Okay. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Hope you had a great day. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends, ring the bell, turn on all notifications. I hope this was helpful to the viewer that requested it. I hope this is what you're looking for. Alright, until next time, see ya.